مين على مصر مين يبعت سلامي في كلمتين يا هلا الله مشتاق لناسنا الطيبين ودي ياما فيها مخلصين يا ما شاء الله وأصغر العلماء تقدر تقول ما تشاء الله بدعي لهم رب السماء وقولوا آمين إن شاء الله إن شاء الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. This is inshallah the lesson number 8 in this series of lessons that are intended to provide a guide for a serious student who wishes to pursue studies in the school of Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala. Last time we started talking about what's referred to as the golden chain in the Shafi'i school, and we spoke about the second scholar in that chain, which is Imam al-Muzani rahimahullah ta'ala, and today we will continue and speak about some of the later scholars in that chain. So the next scholar in that chain, which is referred to as the golden chain, is Imam al-Juwayni rahimahullah ta'ala, and he is also referred to as Imam al-Haramain. He died in 478 Hijri. So he is also referred to as Imam al-Haramain. Or simply as Al-Imam. In the books of Shafi'i fiqh, if they say Qal al-Imam, then what they mean by that is Imam al-Haramain, Imam al-Juwayni rahimahullah ta'ala. When they want to refer to something that a Shafi'i said, they would simply say Qal al-Shafi'i, Qal al-Shafi'i. But when they say Qal al-Imam in the books of Shafi'i fiqh, then they mean Imam al-Haramain or Imam al-Juwayni, Abu al-Ma'ali al-Juwayni, the son of Abu Muhammad al-Juwayni rahimahumallahu ta'ala. As we spoke about earlier when we spoke about Imam al-Haramain, that he collected the two tracks, the Iraqi track and the Khurasani track. He did jama' baynahuma in his book Nihayatul Matlab. Nihayatul Matlab fi Dirayatil Madhab. Okay. And we spoke about that before, what the Khurasani track and the Iraqi track were, and how Imam al-Juwayni combined between the two tracks in this book. So we're not going to go into the details regarding that. What we want to mention and just remind you with is that Nihayatul Matlab is a book in which he presents both tracks. And then what we would also like to mention is that Nihayatul Matlab is a commentary of Mukhtasar al-Muzani. Okay, it is a commentary of Mukhtasar al-Muzani. And there is some debate amongst later scholars about whether Nihayatul Matlab is a commentary on Mukhtasar al-Muzani only, or is it a commentary on Mukhtasar al-Muzani in addition to Mukhtasar al-Buwaiti, along with al-Umm and al-Imla, the two books of Imam al-Shafi'i. So some people claim that Nihayatul Matlab is a commentary of all four of these books. Okay? That it's a commentary, it's a sharh of Mukhtasar al-Buwaiti, Mukhtasar al-Muzani, and al-Imla. But the correct opinion regarding this is that Nihayatul Matlab is more directly a commentary of Mukhtasar al-Muzani, in the sense that Imam al-Juwayni in the book Nihayatul Matlab would say Qala, and then he would quote Mukhtasar al-Muzani, and then he would start doing commentary on that. And while he is doing his sharh, while he is doing his commentary, he will bring information from all of these three books. Okay, so it's clear from his writing that he is relying on all of these. But the blueprint that he's using for his book Nihayatul Matlab is the Mukhtasar of Imam al-Muzani. In fact, he doesn't only use these four books, he also uses other works that were written by Imam al-Shafi'i, as well as the students of Imam al-Shafi'i and the students of Imam al-Shafi'i, the scholars of the Shafi'i school from the 3rd and the 4th century, Ashabul Wujuh. So Imam al-Juwayni, when he writes Nihayatul Matlab, he means for it to be a commentary of the madhab itself, not just a commentary of Mukhtasar al-Muzani. So that's how we can explain why some people have said this and some people have said that. Now, Nihayatul Matlab is a very important book. It is a book that, as I said, is a collection of the entire madhab before Imam al-Juwayni. And not only does he collect the opinions of those before him, but he also does tarjih between any differences in opinion that existed among the scholars who came before him. So it also contains his tarjih. And this book became extremely important for later Shafi'i scholars, as we will see. And that's why it is part of this golden chain, what's referred to as a golden chain. And just to illustrate the importance of Imam al-Juwayni in the school of Imam al-Shafi'i, suffice it to say that he is referred to as al-Imam, such that if al-Imam is mentioned in the books of Shafi'i fiqh, it is understood that what is meant is al-Imam al-Juwayni rahimahullah ta'ala. So let's move on to the next scholar in the golden chain, which is a student of Imam al-Juwayni. His most brilliant student, Hujjatul Islam, Imam Muhammad ibn Muhammad al-Ghazali rahimahullah ta'ala, who died in the year 505 after Hijrah. Imam al-Ghazali, he also wrote a number of books in Shafi'i fiqh, among which four are most important. The first one is called Al-Basit. Then we have Al-Wajiz, followed by Al-Basit, Al-Wajiz. I skipped one here. Al-Wasit is the second one. Then we have Al-Wajiz. And then we have Al-Khulasa. Al-Khulasa. Al-Basit is the first book that he wrote, and it is a commentary of Nihayatul Matlab, the book of his teacher. It's a commentary of Nihayatul Matlab. And then Al-Wasit is a commentary of Al-Basit. Sorry, not a commentary. not a commentary. Both of these are summaries. Summaries. So Al-Basit is a summary of Nihayatul Matlab, and Al-Wasit is a summary of Al-Basit. And then Al-Wajiz is a commentary of, not a commentary, of a summary. Al-Wajiz is a summary of Al-Wasit. So as you can see, Imam Al-Ghazali wrote 3 books that are all connected to the original book of his Imam, his teacher, Imam Al-Juwayni, rahimahullah ta'ala. And then Al-Khulasa is a shorter book. It's shorter than Al-Wajiz. And many people are of the opinion that Al-Khulasa is a summary of Al-Wajiz. But this is incorrect. This is incorrect. In fact, Al-Khulasa has nothing to do with Al-Wajiz. Al-Khulasa is an independent work. In fact, Al-Khulasa is a summary of Mukhtasar Al-Muzani. It's a summary of Mukhtasar Al-Muzani. So when we look at Al-Khulasa, what Imam Al-Ghazali does, after spending many years writing these 3 books, which were written after the book of his Imam, his teacher, Al-Imam Al-Juwayni rahimahullah ta'ala, it seems that Imam Al-Ghazali then wanted to write a different book that has nothing to do with Nihayatul Matlab. And he went to the original book that Nihayatul Matlab itself was a commentary of, which was Mukhtasar Al-Muzani, and he decided to summarize Mukhtasar of Al-Imam Al-Muzani rahimahullah ta'ala. And what he did in Khulasa is that he took out the opinions of Imam Al-Muzani. Because remember, in the Mukhtasar of Imam Al-Muzani, he has his own opinions intertwined with the opinions of Imam Shafi'i. Al-Ghazali took out the opinions of Imam Al-Muzani and stuck to the opinions of Imam Shafi'i in the Khulasa. He also changed the tartib of Mukhtasar Al-Muzani. In his book Al-Khulasa, he changes the ordering of the masail and of the chapters, and he makes it more intuitive. He makes the layout of the book more intuitive, if you will. He also took out any adillah. He took out evidences that Imam Al-Muzani mentions in his Mukhtasar. Imam Al-Ghazali takes that out from the Khulasa, and also he corrects and removes ambiguities that were present in the Mukhtasar of Imam Al-Muzani. So this is the final work of Imam Al-Ghazali, Al-Khulasa, and it is supposed to be a summary as well as an editing, if you will, of the Mukhtasar of Imam Al-Muzani rahimahullah ta'ala. And because of the importance of Imam Al-Shafi'i, Imam Al-Ghazali in the Shafi'i school, he's given the title Hujjatul Islam. Hujjatul Islam. However, in our books of fiqh, in the books of Shafi'i fiqh, Imam Al-Ghazali is referred to with his title Al-Ghazali, Qal Al-Ghazali, rahimahullah ta'ala. So let's move on to the next scholar in the golden chain. So by now, you should be able to see how Al-Muzani is connected with Al-Shafi'i through his Mukhtasar, and how Al-Juwayni is connected to Al-Muzani through his Nihayatul Matlab, and how Al-Ghazali is connected to Al-Juwayni through his Al-Basit. And then moving on to the next scholar in the chain, which is Imam Ar-Rafi'i, Abu Qasim Abdul Karim al-Rafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala, who died in 623 Hijrah. He wrote 2 commentaries on Al-Wajiz of Imam Al-Ghazali. So he took the Wajiz of Imam Al-Ghazali and he wrote 2 commentaries on this book. One is called Al-Sharh Al-Saghir, and the other one is called Al-Sharh Al-Kabir. Al-Sharh Al-Kabir is also called Al-Aziz. In fact, this is the title that Imam Al-Rafi'i gave to this book, Al-Aziz. This is the title that he gave to this book, Al-Aziz. Al-Aziz, Al-Sharh Al-Kabir. But some of the later scholars saw that this title was inappropriate because it was a name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Aziz is a name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they changed it, therefore, to Fath al-Aziz. Fath al-Aziz. But the title that he gave the book is Al-Aziz. Now this is a very important book in our school. Al-Aziz, or Sharh Al-Kabir, is a book that contains adilla, that contains evidences and legal reasoning behind the different legal rulings. It also contains tarjih. It is a book in which Imam Al-Rafi'i tries to find the stronger position amongst the various opinions of Imam Al-Shafi'i, as well as among the various opinions of the students of Imam Al-Shafi'i and Ashabul Wujuh. So whatever various opinions that are found in Al-Wajiz, Imam Al-Rafi'i in this book, Al-Sharh Al-Kabir, tries to do tarjih between those various opinions. Okay, so let's talk about another book of Imam Al-Rafi'i, which is Al-Muharrar. Al-Muharrar. Now, some people say that Al-Muharrar is a mukhtasar, summary, whereas these 2 were commentaries. This is a summary of Al-Wajiz. Others say that no, this is a summary of the khulasa of Imam Al-Ghazali. But the correct opinion seems to be that this is an independent work. This book is an independent work that Imam Al-Rafi'i wrote at the end of his life. And it has nothing to do with the khulasa or the wajiz. It has nothing to do with any of the books of Imam Al-Ghazali rahimahullah ta'ala. And the reason for the differences in opinion is because he doesn't mention in the muqaddimah, he doesn't mention in the introduction of his book what is the asl of this book, what is the origin of this book. However, just by looking at the content of the book, it seems that it is an independent work and it's not based on either the wajiz or the khulasa of Imam Al-Ghazali. This book, Al-Muharrar, is a summary of the madhab. It's a summary of the Shafi'i school. And it is perhaps one of the most important mutun, one of the most important abridged, or not, one of the most important short books that were written until the time of Imam al-Rafi'i in the Shafi'i school. So with this, we come to the end of the life of Imam al-Rafi'i. Very quickly, we want to go to the next scholar in the chain, which is Imam al-Nawawi, rahimahullah ta'ala, who died in the year 676 Hijrah. So Imam al-Rafi'i is connected to Imam al-Ghazali through his book Al-Aziz, which is a commentary on Al-Wajiz. So Imam Abu Zakaria Yahya ibn Sharaf al-Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala, who lived for 45 years. He died at the age of 45. He was from a town called Nawa. He also wrote a number of different books. Perhaps it's going to take a long time to talk about Imam al-Nawawi. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop here insha'Allah ta'ala, and we're going to talk about Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah in the next lesson, in the next session, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Just to recap, this is the golden chain so far, starting from Imam al-Shafi'i to Imam al-Rafi'i. Imam al-Shafi'i is connected to Imam al-Muzani through Muzani's book Mukhtasar al-Muzani. And then Imam al-Juwayni is connected to Imam al-Muzani through his book Nihayatul Matlab. And then Imam al-Ghazali is connected to Imam al-Juwayni through his book Al-Basit, which then he summarized into Al-Wajiz, which is the connection between al-Ghazali and Imam al-Rafi'i, because Al-Aziz, which is the book of Imam al-Rafi'i, is a commentary on Al-Wajiz. And we will see how Imam al-Rafi'i is connected to Imam al-Nawawi in the next lesson. وَصَلِّ اللَّهُمَّ وَسَلِّمْ وَبَارِكْ عَلَى سَيِّدِنَا مُحَمَّدٍ وَعَلَى آلِهِ وَصَحْبِهِ أَجْمَعِينَ وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَةُ اللَّهِ وَبَرَكَاتُهُ.
العلماء لهم فضل ومنزلة ووجههم عند مولى الفضل مقبول. قوم إلى الله قد شدت عزائمهم وحبلهم بحبال الله موصول. قوم على الملة السمحاء قد فطروا وشأنهم مع كتاب الله منقول. أعطاهم الله ما شاءوا وأكرمهم كذاك قال الذي وفاه جبريل. يا ربنا خذ بنا قلبا لساحتهم لنستريح ويحمى القلب والقيل. العلماء لهم جاه ومنزلة ووجههم عند مولى الفضل